I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. No!
This is Unpause It, the podcast by a family of geeks.
I'm Lady Disdain, and I'm 43 years old.
I am the sauce underscore, and I am 11
Underscore the data bytes. Faulty one.
I'm Furious Girl, and I am 9.
Welcome to the Unpause It podcast for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Awesome Volume 2. Awesome Mix Volume 2.
The Awesome Mix Volume 2. This movie came out May 5th, 2017. Less than a year from this recording. Just about 11 months ago. From this recording.
We are getting so close.
We have Spider-Man Homecoming and Thor Ragnarok right before Infinity War.
Okay, so I'm going to be in the driver's seat for Infinity War, but I'm not going to be driving it. I'm just going to be in the driver's seat.
We're trying this out. So we have two microphones. We have a Blue Yeti in the center, but we're also trying out our new H1N little mobile recorder and seeing how that works too, and doing a little pass around. It is a Yeti.
It's not a Yeti. It says blue, but it doesn't say Yeti.
So the company is blue. The type of the microphone is a Yeti.
Yeah, if you look up and try to buy that, it'll be Yeti in your description.
It's not gonna.
But anyway, we've gone through all the movies. Are now we within a year of when the last movie, the one we're going to, is coming out?
Right. So this is directed by James Gunn, who directed the first one. Written also as well. Starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Michael Rooker. Very much a returning cast. Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell re-team up. Mr. Tango and Mr. Cash again.
Oh, my
yeah.
gosh, I hadn't even thought of that.
What?
I didn't even think about
Oh,
that.
man. It introduced Kurt Russell's Ego, the Living Planet. Spoilers. As
No, there are no spoilers.
well, this one's still within a year, so I'm going to say it.
Okay, fine. I'll put the little thingy in there.
That makes total sense, though.
Yeah, come on.
Right. So this movie is pretty awesome, I think,
I do too.
at the end. We're going to get to that part there. Who wants to go first and talk about the superpowers? I would like to talk about the superpower of Ego, played by Kurt Russell. Sauce.
Suddenly, pineapples. Okay, so I would like to say superpowers of Ego. Well, he's basically just an all-powerful being, but he does wither. That form does wither up and shrivel and die and death and science.
And suddenly,
Totally.
pineapples.
If it's away from the planet for too long.
Oh, well, explain that part.
Ego's core is in the planet.
Right.
Basically, the planet is just his face.
They have a shot with that,
It's
right?
the planet, yeah.
True.
It's
Suddenly,
the
pineapples.
face planet. Suddenly pineapple.
All right, so I'm not really sure what the whole pineapples thing is, but we can probably drop the pineapples. It has zero to do with this movie. Moving on. Do you have anything for superpowers?
Stuff.
Like what?
Guys, she just wrote stuff. Look,
She literally wrote stuff.
her notes.
All right.
Stuff.
Pretty much echoing what the sauce said. I guess that also falls under stuff. But yeah, Ego. Well, and we didn't really see how it happened, but he was able to decimate the entire sovereign fleet.
Right.
We just saw a big bloom, and then he's all little tiny man, which is not a really tiny man, just far away. It was perspective.
He created lightning-y stuff.
True. He has a lot of power. So the term in the movie was that he was a celestial. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I guess in the comics, Ego, the Living Planet, wasn't a living planet. It was a completely different type of being or whatever. So a celestial would be like the head where Nowhere is in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, where they were mining those things.
Celestial.
Right. So this would be the same type of being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're just going to go there. What does Quill say? He's a god? And then
Small G, son.
small g, son. Yeah, so
If I'm on days, if I'm feeling as humble as Drax on some days or something like that.
yeah, there's a lot of good lines. We're going to get to good lines here in a second, but I wanted to talk about Ego and the superpowers of him to start, because he is on our unposited, unofficial top 10 villain list, currently holding the third spot.
Bucky
And-
should have been first.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about that. He's the third spot, and it's because Ego was in all of our family's top 10 villains. because he is more powerful than any of the heroes. He's more powerful than all the heroes kind of put together. They have to destroy him from the inside, you know, his brain, his mind, his core, his essence, to destroy the planet.
The core of the planet.
And this one of the main heroes dies in the actual movie.
Yeah.
So that elevates his villainy, if you will, you know, to higher than most of the other ones. That's just my opinion.
You had something to say?
Yes. Watch the movie if you don't get what we're saying.
That's
Watch.
Like,
good point.
I heard
What?
watch.
Okay, watch the movie if you don't get what we're saying. And if you haven't watched the movie, then stop listening to this podcast. And go
Never say that. Never say that.
Yeah, go watch it. Go watch that and watch the rest of our podcast along with this one.
Yes, there you go.
He also has an ability to, he demonstrates it where he takes a part of himself, like he kind of grabs it off of his body and he like plants it on the planet. So he's also got the power to like, it seems like that's not even just, you know, him creating progeny, which Peter Quill is one of his progeny.
Right.
But he's also able to like take a piece of himself, plant it like in a planet, and then trigger that once he's got enough power, which is why he needs Peter Quill.
Two Celestial.
True there.
Didn't we see Celestials in the first Guardians?
We talked about that. That's the head of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, that was a head of a celestial, and they were mining that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was one of the villains. I would like to talk about the other villains, per se, more along the line of antagonists. The Sovereign. Kids!
Ooh, they're
That's what they say in...
I'm definitely gonna bleep that out.
Yeah, you know what? I wonder if for Comic-Con someone dresses as a Sovereign, and then a little kid, like a little Spider-Man kid, like 7. You're a
Or wouldn't it be great if someone like they were like the queen and they had like when they entered Comic-Con, they have like people just kind of rolling the little thing and they just like leave a just path of like a velvet carpet. Like, where is this? What's going on? Oh, it's a Sovereign. The face paint alone on that would just be mind numbing. It'd be like, well, it's like Yondu with his blue face.
Yeah.
How'd you like the Sovereigns?
question mark.
Yeah.
Old people, right?
No,
I
she
know
knows. She
what they
questions them basically. She's like,
Yeah.
they are pompous D-bags, pretty much.
They're pompous D-bag jerks.
Yeah, they're not really the villains, but they're in the villain category because they're against the Guardians.
Yeah.
They are fighting. Their D-baggery leads them to try to destroy the Guardians of the Galaxy, people that are revered, because they don't care. They think they're more superior than anybody else, even though they're not.
Yep.
Also leads to one of the end credit scenes. The Sovereign are key into introducing a new character that has been confirmed, will be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Nice.
However, we'll get there in a moment.
Can I say one thing about Sovereign? You do there's a few video game references in this movie, but one of them is how the Sovereign fights, because you guys see where they're basically like virtual reality.
It's an arcade.
Yeah, they're in an arcade, and they're kind of like, it's just like, if any of you guys are familiar, if you ever do go play at arcades, and like, if you know people who frequent games and they're really good, and you're always like, oh, is he gonna keep his top score? And, you know, it's kind of funny to watch people like that, but it did feel a little too of some virtual reality as well, where they're like all not even there, they're just fighting on behalf.
And you know what's really funny and satisfying to me? To see someone who thinks so highly of themselves, like, I'm better than you at anything. And,
And then Rock.
I can do it. I'm better than anyone. Again.
Yeah.
And they just fail. And it's so funny.
What?
Did you have anything?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're moving on. Moving on.
Moving on.
Back it up. Back it up. Back it up.
Happens always finds out, bro. That's the wrong movie. Sorry, prior podcast.
Right. So we're going to go into some of the battle and fight scenes on this. It started out with a huge battle scene and a musical number in the vein of the first one. It felt a little, but it gave us Baby Groot, right? And then there was the Sovereign chase and the very end battle scene. There really wasn't a lot of fighting in this one. What am I missing?
Ravagers and Rocket's trap. That's a big fight.
Oh, the Ravager's rocket trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have that there. rocket booby trap is what I had.
That's right.
So yeah, but there wasn't a lot of major fighting in this one. It was a good character story, and I think that's where some people are like, it's not as good as the first one, which had a lot of action, almost nonstop. And this had a lot of character development between Quill and Ego. Needed it. Set up for a really good ending, in my opinion. Anybody have anything to say about the battling specifically?
Like any specific battle?
Yes.
Peter Quill has a messed up dad.
Right.
That's, yeah.
That was during the battle scene.
Okay, King Cobra versus the giant sea monkey. That's the opening thing, and it has,
Right.
I don't even know which one is different, King Cobra or giant sea monkey.
What?
I don't know which one
Is
too.
the one from the other dimension. The Cobra is the car that they were driving in the flashback part, because that whole scene encompasses that.
Oh.
Ah.
So you're talking about, that's what it's named on the Blu-ray. That chapter is named that.
I know. It's like,
Ah.
I didn't even realize it was called King Cobra.
Right, and the flashback to that, the Kurt Russell, someone said that wasn't Kurt Russell, that was just an actor who looked exactly like him
Wow.
instead of being Kurt Russell.
Really?
Yeah. He's got a lot more dimples than Kurt Russell ever did.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, I suppose
But I don't know for sure. I was just trying to find something out that we can figure that out. But
everyone's got a doppelganger.
right, so talk about the battle scenes. Anything with the Sovereign, they were remotely piloted because they're too good to do their own dirty work. Right? So, yeah.
I liked, I think one of my favorites was, well, two of my favorites. Rocket's Trap. I did really like that because you knew he's smart and you know he's got the tech, the technical brain for the group. But you think about that, single-handedly, this raccoon took down over 100 Ravagers that were closing in on him. He set the trap. He knew exactly what to do. He was agile. He was able, and even remember when they were in the clearing and he had two guys, locked in on him, and he just immediately went blah blah, and he knocked them both out. And had Yondu not showed up with the arrow, his arrow of death, he would have probably conquered that. And then my other one is Yondu's escape from the Ravager ship. So that was
Right.
Those two are my favorite battle scenes.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not a huge action piece.
Right.
But more of a character, it's a movie. Fantasy, sci-fi, fun, romp, space, comedy. We're going to go into those scenes and lines and everything. Lots of good lines. One of my favorite was, these are... He said, what's the name of the battery? Sauce? Do you know the name of the battery?
Arbulary battery.
What's the real name?
Arbulary.
Ambulax? Oh, Arbulary batteries.
Ambulax. That's not even what I said.
Yeah, Drax goes back over and says it again.
It's Arbulary batteries. He's like, no, it's not. It's an ambulance battery. I don't
Those
either.
are the batteries in the
It's
front. The batteries that they installed, they had just some made-up name.
Yeah.
Okay?
And Peter knew it, and then Drax just was like, oh, it's and then Arbulary. Oh, Arbulary batteries. That's not what I said. It's not even close to what I said.
Favorite lines, scenes, or anything?
Nothing?
I only had favorite characters, Rabbit, Raccoon, and Yandu.
Okay. Why is Yondu your favorite character?
I don't know.
Because he's freaking Yondu.
Watch the Frickins.
Yeah, we need to have a serious discussion about
Okay.
your language.
Okay, he's Yondu then. And don't reference.
What about us? What else do you got?
For your favorite scenes?
Favorite scenes? One was at the, in the Ravager prison. I named it Groot Fetch. Groot.
Groot Fetch?
Yeah. Groot is getting all of them. Everything. I hate
Please
hats.
tell me you have a storage unit full of human toes.
So gross.
Yeah.
He's
Never
so
speak of
cute.
this again.
He's all bringing the table.
And if you watch the movie, you know the really bad landing. Remember? When they escaped after the 1-inch man saved them.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. Yes. And Pac-Man versus the Rockman. The giant Ego created a giant rock dude to kill Quill.
Quill, yeah.
And Quill created a giant Pac-Man.
That was very funny.
And he had said that earlier. She's like, I'm going to make the biggest Pac-Man monument with my powers.
It's gonna be some weird beep, yo.
I have that written down too. I have actually quotes. I'm going to make some weird... Yep.
Okay, wait. I had something else.
Okay.
I had one thing. Oh yeah. It's that's my dad. It's a really messed up.
You've got you're messed up, Quill. Well, of course I'm messed up. That's my freaking dad, dude.
Right, and that's during the battle scene. The very end of the movie is we're going to get to on the favorite characters, lines, and scenes that we have. The 700 jumps was funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Then Groot's like, blah.
And in rewatching it, one of the things that stood out to me was when Gamora's like, "Oh, if he's evil, we'll just kill him." Not realizing how powerful he was, they can't just kill him.
Nope. Not to just anything about that.
Right.
Yeah, but it took a lot. It almost killed them all.
True.
And it did kill them.
But they did just go.
Yeah.
They didn't just kill him; they lost. Spoilers. Yondu in the process. So a main character of the Guardians was lost. Welcome to the friggin' Guardians of the Galaxy.
And except he didn't say frickin'.
Right.
You already do more?
I do. So the end battle, we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail. So we're talking about the Pac-Man, how Peter Quill was able to quickly use the core of Planet Ego because he's part of him to fight him and fight him fairly effectively. Because Ego is powerful enough to attack each one of the split up Guardians. They were all getting buried by the planet.
Yeah.
And he was able to focus Ego had to focus his attention onto Quill directly, so all the other ones were able to do what they were going to do. Escape, set the bomb. I am Groot. I am Groot.
And Groot.
No! That one. You know.
Groot. He points to the switch. I am Groot. He points to the other switch. I am Groot. He points to the button.
That's not what I said. That was one of the trailers, so it was not. I think that could have been left out of the trailers and been funnier in the movie. But still, every time I see it, I love it.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, so it could go either way on that one, really. But
What are the spoilers?
Yeah.
right, it's a Harbulary battery is what that is. So I have a question about that end battle. Besides, like, you think you got problems, that's my freaking dad, right? How he was being used to have the other planets turn into egos, basically. And it's like, I didn't want to put that tumor in my mom. And it was like instantly moved his eyes from
Quill
being
snapped
controlled.
out of it,
Right. That's why he snapped my fingers on that one. Because it was a snap. It was that fast. He's like, what? And then he just started shooting him. Just like not even thinking about it. I was like, you're going down now.
Right.
You're an imbecile.
And he did go down.
Eventually.
Yeah. No.
Eventually. Because obviously you had to get the core to do that. What did everybody think about some of the new characters in here that were...
So is it Mantis? Mantis is the new character you're introduced to with where she is Ego's, pet, I guess, basically. That's an accurate description. I feel like she replaces what Drax provided in the first movie where, he's so, not metaphorically, so literal that he's kind of the straight man to everybody's humor. I feel like she's the same way where she adds that newness where like, I do not understand what this means. And so you kind of laugh at her experiencing practical jokes or, or can I pet your dog? And he's like, yeah, go ahead and pet Rocket. So I feel like she kind of replaced what Drax provided in the first movie.
So the last battle scene brings it back together. What we're talking about is the last third of the movie is a huge battle against a living planet, a celestial, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are able to do that. So we're going to move on. We love that part. That's what brings it together for us.
Are we all done with favorite character scenes and lines?
No one else is contributing.
I have tons. I cannot believe, particularly that the sauce didn't bring this one up. I have famously huge turds.
I was waiting for someone else to bring that
That was the other one that I forgot. Oh my god.
But yeah, that one I couldn't believe because that's like one of the best lines that you immediately laugh at. I love where and Drax had some really good lines where he's like, "You Earthers have hang-ups," because he's talking about how his parents would always tell him about
Science.
what could be considered inappropriate scientific things. Yeah. Taserface was one of the best scenes in there where Rocket just goes in on this guy. It's what strikes fear into anyone that hears it. He's was like, okay, taser face. And he gets inappropriate there. I love Yondu's revenge, which happens soon after that. Love it. And that music, I thought that kind of got back to the quality of the first movie where the music tied in and he just starts taking over the whole ship with his arrow. And
also, it explains that scene. There was a throwaway line in there. Does anybody have any clones of Quill's music laying around? Why he still has a pristine Walkman from the 80s in space. Because they have technology, he was able to clone that over and over and over again.
Oh, that's a good point.
So why would he have to go back into nowhere or into the kill in the first one to go get it again? I bet you he just had clones of the tapes. I wonder.
Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he only made a clone, like he had one spare. I could see Quill being the kind of guy who doesn't make a ton of spares. He's like got one backup, and that's on the Ravager ship, and he wasn't going to go back there. Also liked, it was kind of a funny running gag where, Drax is so not socially apt, and, he keeps telling Manta she's ugly, and she's like, oh, and he's like, oh, but you should be glad you're ugly. And I like his line, when you're ugly and someone loves you, it's real. It's like, that was pretty profound. Groot getting the fin. I totally agree with you that the Groot fetching stuff. I did again. One of my favorite scenes or moments is when, as soon as Quill finds out his mom, that Ego killed his mom, he's like, oh, it's on. Bam, you're dead. I will kill you right now.
But he didn't kill him.
Right. This is a throwback to the first movie when Yondu is flying the ship, flying Quill's ship into to take out or try to take out Ego. Hey there, right. Groot and the bomb button. Oh, and this makes me kind of sad because this leads into what is my tear-worthy moment of this movie. When Yondu and Peter are coming down off the ship and Yondu's holding onto his arrow and he's like, you look kind of like Mary Poppins. Was he cool? Yeah, he was cool. And that part I love because it's like, oh, it's just a neat moment. And then, of course, my favorite, just really touching, is Yondu's funeral. I love where he passes and then the Ravagers show up and they have the whole, whatever they call the flames of
Arnor,
and the colors of something will, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And then where his second in command, you just see, and he kind of captures everything you felt because he's just like, yeah, because he's just so happy that the crew is back to pay their respects. So those were all mine. Lots of stuff, like I said, and most of it, again, happening in the last 33% of the movie, but that's what makes it great.
And it was so good. It is about family, this one. Before then, it is a little convoluted. It is a little slow. I can see where people were, disappointed, if you will.
Thought was hoping, like it almost feels sequelitis from it.
Very much like, this isn't Iron Man 2, though.
Nope, this is
at all.
Not Iron Man.
However, Iron Man 2 is okay to watch once or twice. It moves the plot forward. This one is something that you can watch over and over again, and it gets a little bit better every time because you're expecting the lulls, you're expecting what's happening to actually happen, and the lines are very well delivered and extremely well done, in my opinion. We had so many strong lines in this one, and Kurt Russell's performance was really, really good. That leads us into Yondu's funeral, leads us into the end credits. All right. It gets its own thing because the end credits are done in a great style.
Yeah.
The trivia, section of IMDb says there were 17 I Am Groots. So there was like
catching them all too.
Yeah, we got like 12. I think we got 9 in the theaters when we saw it the first time.
I counted 11.
Yeah. So
me and Dad both counted 12.
Yeah, we counted 12. So there was still like 5 that we were missing, and they're really tiny. Like in the background, it would be a "You Are Here." It would be "I'm Groot" changes to "You Are Here."
Yeah, it was really fast.
Things like that.
It had to be quick.
A little trivia about that is Vin Diesel, who records the "I Am Groot" lines. Mm-hmm. He also was the voice of the Iron Giant in another animated good movie that we do like. I like a lot anyway. Yeah. Was given a English version of Groot's lines. Only he was given that script.
Yeah.
So instead of saying "I am Groot," he'd be like, "This is what you would have been saying." As far as that, so it's parentheses, "I am Groot," and it's like "Welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy" or something.
Oh, kind of so he could express it the way he's supposed to express it.
Exactly, and I think it worked out really well.
Yeah, it did really.
So end credits is 5 different iterations.
Remember the first one? What's the first one? What's the first end credit scene?
I remember arrow practice. Maybe.
Yeah.
Arrow practice.
So who's got the arrow?
The new person.
Yeah.
What's his name?
James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn. Oh,
What's his character name?
Kraglin.
Kraglin.
They don't honestly. They say his name like twice.
I know.
Because like,
And
what's up,
both of
Kraglin?
the
Like, and
movies.
it's all in the radio, and it's like it's super fast, and it's all the
Kind of like Spider-Man Homecoming.
yeah. So it's Kraglin.
It is Kraglin, and I gave it 10 out of 10, and the second one was
Oh, can you let me do the second one?
We're gonna go this one.
I'll pass it around. It'll come back to you. Don't worry, because there's 5.
So wait, let's all rate that first one.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
What'd you rate it?
I rated it 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I gave it a 10 because it was hilarious.
Oh,
Well, I'm about to say you were like, I also give it a 10 out of 10.
yes, that's all.
So it's all 10s.
And it was the Drax. He's just sitting there, just screaming, and then he's like just walked away. It's hilarious.
Kraglin's like, I'm going to edge myself out of this now.
He should have whistled it out of him.
No, I think that would have done more damage. Remember?
I know, that's exactly why I said he should have.
Okay.
So just introduce the second one,
Yeah.
The second one was something about the Ravengers.
Ravager Captains.
Yeah, so
All the Ravenger captains are deciding to become Ravenger friends. Again.
Like reunite. Apparently that's something from the comics. Those are all actual comic, kind of drawn out Guardians of the Galaxy characters in print, if you will. Who played them?
Oh, but I didn't rate it.
Sylvester Stallone.
I didn't rate it.
I can.
Michelle. It's
10 out of 10.
It was good. Sylvester Stallone. Michelle Yeoh. I mean, you do that.
Big guy.
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames. The lady from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
I said that 3 times.
Okay, sorry. When I saw her, I'm like, oh!
I do one of the. Okay, there was an alien dude. He used Doctor Strange magic to make a thumbs
did?
up. But that might have just been technology, or it might have been magic.
I bet you it's magic like Doctor
Wait,
Strange.
Yeah.
hold on here. How did you react, Georgia, when you saw that Doctor Strange effect?
I was like,
She really was.
She was screaming about it. So she put the 2 and 2 together,
That was cool.
and it was a light bulb moment. It was amazing.
Yeah.
The voice of the helmet head thing was Miley Cyrus.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What did you rate it?
2 out of 2.
2 out of 10? No, 10 out of 10. You have 10 out of 10 written right there.
10
Yeah.
out of 10, 2 out of 2.
What'd you rate it?
Oh, for being the second.
10 out of 10.
I rated it, actually, what'd you rate it?
I gave it 9 out of 10.
Okay, I gave it,
Miley Cyrus.
no, that's legit. I gave it 10 out of 10. It was just neat to see, it was quite a star-studded set of cameos there. It was like, wow, that's cool. All right, what's the third one?
The third one was Adam.
Adam Warlock introduction.
Yes, and I give it 0 out of 10 because what the heck is Adam?
That's legit.
I gave it 3 out of 10. That's just because it's a Marvel thing.
Okay. No, you go next.
I can understand why the youngins don't get this one, but Adam Warlock is a character from the comics.
I know who Adam Warlock is from some comics.
From some comics, right? I guess there's one storyline. Not huge comic book readers. I kind of just more like read the stories, which they can be condensed into very small, readable things without the art, and then look at the art at different times. I do like it though. Apparently, he's strong enough to wield the Infinity Gauntlet and undo some things that Thanos does in some of the comics. And he's super, super powerful. Like he's like the most powerful of either villain or hero, and he changes sides a couple times, I think. But that's who Adam Warlock is, and he's introduced. So I can understand why you didn't like it. It's really confusing. It's for the fanboys only, basically fangirls, if you will, who know who Adam Warlock is, but they're introducing that for the third Guardians installment.
The only reason I read it anything because it was a Marvel movie and because it showed the people all messed up, like the Queen Lady.
Oh, because she was defeated, yes.
Yeah, and I think I give it a 4 out of 10, mostly probably from ignorance that I don't really understand the full scope of Adam Warlock. So there you go. All right.
So, about Adam Warlock, I think that he is in Infinity War and tries to help the Earth just
If he
because.
is, they're keeping that quiet.
Yeah, they are.
Pretty much.
We
Could
have
be in
They should have said that
Captain
it
Marvel
wasn't.
thing too.
Yeah. So we're not hearing much about it, but it's possible. You wanna do
Okay,
the fourth
so
one?
number 4
This is the Dad Abides favorite one.
Teenager Groot. I give it 7 out of 10 because why is there leaves everywhere?
I give it 10 out of 10.
What'd you give it?
10 out of 10. 10, 10, 10.
What'd you give it?
I live this. I don't give this a 10 out of 10. I give this a 0 out of 10 because it's my favorite one. But then I have one actual teenage Groot and one almost teenage Groot. 2 Groots, basically. And so we are doing this all the time. So anytime I get any talk back from them, I look over to the lady at Stain and I'm like, AMG. And then we just die laughing because the kids are like, well, what's that about? I'm like, well, you just did that to us. You just didn't say I am Groot, but this is exactly what you did. Clean up your rooms and stop playing video games.
Yep. We actually we don't confine this to just the kids. Like if we hear anyone like that kind of has that kind of like whatever kind of tone where I was like, I'm Groot. We did it at church this morning.
I will never stop playing video games. You can't make me.
Oh!
I'm Groot.
That's what she just said.
That's what she just did.
Are you Groot?
Are you Groot?
Okay, so
You're boring. I'm not boring. You're boring.
those are the top 4. And during this whole time of these end credit scenes, we have this like 1970s style, really cool stuff. And they have all the Euro Boogie. You got the characters dancing in the background. They're all stylized. And then you're supposed to like find all the I Am Groots that are, in there. And then this one comes in and it was very funny. And he's like, now I know how Yondu felt. Because then he really realizes that Yondu was his dad.
Yeah.
This is about family. This movie is about family and finding your family and your place in the galaxy, if you will. They say the universe, but the galaxy. Number 5 is a Stan Lee. We're going to talk about 2 things here.
Yes.
The very end is a Stan Lee cameo to go along with the Stan Lee cameo during the 700 jumps scene.
Yes.
Or one of the scenes where they're just jumping. Maybe it's the one to the planet. I can't remember, but it was a jump.
700 jumps, yeah.
It was a jump scene. And these are the Watchers. So in the comics, these Watchers very rarely get involved in everything, but they are a device for the reader then to see what's going on around the galaxy, around different places, and bring storylines together. So then the line that Stanley has is, this one time I was a FedEx driver. And everyone kind of blew up because, does that mean that all these cameos, he's this actual same person and he's just a watcher going in everywhere trying to find out what's going on? So he's, being purposely put in the situation where he could be there. So he finds the thing. The one that makes that have no sense is the one in Incredible Hulk where he's just some dude in Milwaukee. Yeah. Right. Why would he be there? But everyone else, it makes perfect sense and everything. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. And then the end, kids, what do you think? The Watchers are tired of hearing him say the stories, and he's like, "Wait, I got so many more stories," and they're just leaving him on this planet. He's like, "You're my ride home."
I give that 3 out of 10 as well.
I give it 1 out of 10 because why couldn't he just be like, back onto their ship? I mean,
Just get him to follow him, right? Yeah, because it wouldn't have been.
dude.
Okay, and you gave it a what?
3.
3 out of 10? I gave it was fine. I mean, I gave it I think the Stanley cameo, the actual mid-movie, the one in the movie cameo, I gave that a 5 out of 10. The end credit scene is kind of I know, I see what you're doing there. 4 out of 10. It's okay.
So we're about to get to our Unposit official overall rating. Before we get there, I have one last question for the panel today. How strong is Gamora?
Strength! Strength or ability to beat other people, like combat ability, or just strength.
Oh, just talk about it. What do you think?
What do you think?
Gamora, she and Captain America, they could probably go hand to hand. Captain America would win, of course, but she could hold up for a little while, I bet.
What do you mean? We don't know. She was able to jump super high.
Yep.
She's super strong.
I bet she does have a little biotic thing, like Nebula, just a little bit.
Well, they talked about that in the previous movie. Her enhancements kept her alive in space a lot longer than normal.
Mm-hmm. Do you got anything for Gamora, strength-wise?
Question mark? I have no idea. Plus
Gamora.
another question mark. No, I just don't have any idea.
You don't have any idea how strong he is.
That's exactly why I have a question mark.
Okay.
Question mark is her I Am Groot.
That is truth.
No, it's not.
That's fine.
To be frank, I haven't really thought about this very much. But in watching some of the Infinity War trailers, it's kind of curious to me because you do think of someone who she's probably going to play a rather important role because she was the one person closest to Thanos all these years, survived Thanos. And to hear Nebula talk about their history where no matter all the improvements that, and when I say improvements, the torturous adjustments that Thanos did to her to make her to where she was worthy enough to beat Gamora, and she never did. So Gamora has got some mad skills, and so it will be interesting to see. It seems like she's the most powerful of the Guardians. As far as like being able to do combat,
Other than adult Groot, perhaps.
yeah.
But I wonder. I don't know how strong she is. We have yet to see her really. She fought the Guardians, but Quill kind of held his own.
Yeah.
But she wasn't trying to kill him. She was just trying to get out of everywhere. Didn't know that it was an Infinity Stone in the first one and things like that. So she was kind of holding back a little bit. I just wonder,
Nebula had her. Nebula was choking her to death, and she probably could have finished her right there.
Yeah.
So she's not invulnerable.
No.
And Drax could have killed her in the prison scene as well. So she's not invulnerable, but she's got game.
True that. She's very skilled. So we're going to go to overall rating now, children. I give this movie 7.5 Harbulary batteries.
I was really hoping it'd be famously huge turds, but I understand.
It wasn't going to be famously huge turds. That was the second one.
Mom, you said it.
But I gave it 7.5 because of the middle part. The ending brings it back around together. The opening is okay. The soundtrack had been better music. And who knows? Maybe this is what all they could get as far as from the licenses from the people who own the music. You know what I mean? Maybe they were trying to get different music and they couldn't. I don't know. But that's the reason I gave it kind of a ding on it, because I didn't enjoy the soundtrack nearly as much. Yeah. But the ending, it gets a little dusty every time I see it.
Yes.
Okay, I give mine 8 out of 10 in smiley face form. It would be smiley face out of smiley face crying.
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Argulary batteries.
Argulary batteries with smiley faces.
9.5 out of 10.
You really liked it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Not as good as, but I'm not going to say it.
What?
Argulary batteries.
Oh, famously huge turds?
No. Can you not read lips?
No. Or Ragnarok?
Yeah.
So
Can we say that out loud? Yeah.
You can say it.
Yeah.
I know, but the Ragnarok is going to be 10 out of 10. Just like, I give you that rating right now.
Wow.
And then I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. And the only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is because I do think it bordered on sequelitis for the first 2/3 of the movie. And then after that, I'm like, but I was with it the whole time. I was invested because I was so invested in the first one. So
those are our ratings. I'm the lowest one on this, and I still like to watch it. It's on Netflix right now, so I watched it a few times. It's immensely enjoyable and rewatchable. During some of the middle parts, I might be doing some chores, though, cleaning up and things like that while it's on. That it doesn't hold me like, say, Star Wars The Last Jedi.
But I really do encourage every parent out there, just watch it, if only to get yourself to that end credit scene where Teen Groot and Peter Quill, because you'll be like, oh my God, this is my life. It's so spot on. See?
It's so true. However, I'm not going to dismiss the kids right now for box office. We're going to talk about it real fast.
But we need.
Oh, we're going to do box office first, then we'll do. That's what I'm going to do to keep you around. It made about $50 million more in the opening weekend than the second one, and then it had a huge drop off in the second weekend. People liked the first one much better than the second one. I think we're in the same category as that one, too. Mm-hmm. It was better on subsequent viewings than it was in the initial viewing. So we are going to put this into context, because this does lead right into Infinity War, this whole podcast, and this also leads into Infinity War. So this made quite a bit of money opening weekend, made $389 million worldwide, the first, domestically, and made just about $50 million more than the first one. So it was kind of on par. Yeah. It made more at the beginning and then less. The first one made more made less at the beginning and stayed in longer because I think it was a better movie.
Yeah, and everybody kept going back to see it. Music was great, yeah.
Right. It was a soundtrack, things like that. It, the worldwide, it did make like $880 million, $863 million. It made money. It was not a failure. No. And it passed the story on quite well. Yondu won't be in Infinity War unless someone snaps their fingers and he's alive again, which could happen. However, it looks like Yondu will be in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Which is set in the 90s.
And so will Agent Coulson.
And Ronan. Yeah. And Korath. So Captain Marvel is coming out next year. We're looking at that one. Kids. I know it's not your most favorite thing to talk about, but it's on podcasts everywhere. We're talking about Infinity War predictions. How much money will Infinity War make the opening weekend? The most ever was The Last Jedi at $250 million or so. What do you think?
I do believe it's going to make a lot of money, also known as 38 million.
That'd be really low. That
so
might make 38 million.
So wait, what did you just say that Last Jedi meant?
The most is The Last Jedi, $250 million. Right. Okay. So
above or less than that?
Black Panther made $202 million or so, right? Just in the 2-day weekend, not in the 4-day weekend.
Okay, so there you go. A little context.
Do you think it'll be over or under $200 million to open up?
I believe it's going to be 348 million.
Do you think it'll be... I'm not sure that's possible physically, but okay. So we'll say over 200 for the...
Okay,
for her.
260 million.
You think it'll just beat out the Last Jedi?
Yes.
Or Force Awakens is what it was.
Yeah.
I think it's going to beat Last Jedi, and here's why.
Well, Last Jedi is... Force Awakens, you mean? Force Awakens has the record.
Okay, it's going to beat The Force Awakens, and here's why. Star Wars is a fantastic franchise, and obviously it's trans-generational. It's totally fine. I feel like the universe of comic book fans and Marvel Cinematic Universe fans and all of those fans and all the fans of all the people who love Sherlock and then therefore like Doctor Strange and all those things. I think you're talking a wider swath of people. I also think that they have probably sold an insane amount of tickets already, as we know.
As so have we.
So I'm gonna put it at $282 million.
Wow. Now, will it beat The Force Awakens total, which was $2 billion?
Yes.
Worldwide.
I am willing to plunk down
worldwide. I would
money.
believe that 2.5 billion.
I say it does not beat The Force Awakens, but it does well over $200 million. I think it beats Black Panther in its 2-day opening. Black Panther had a 4-day opening of $240 million.
Maybe.
It had a holiday or had a longer run. However, this is a unique situation where Black Panther's still in theaters right now. Right. You could go see Black Panther
right now.
And then the same day, maybe even same theater, probably not same theater, probably be pushed out to more like, budget theaters here in the area we live in. The same day, right then, go see Black Panther and then go see Infinity War with just a little bit of lunch in between. Yeah. It's very possible. Half-hour screen time, Sauce.
Like as many video games as we have.
Okay, he's nondescript.
I agree.
Mooncraft, also known as Minecraft, on Hypixel and on Realms.
That's right. So we got the kids' realms. So now they have their own little realm in which they can play and invite kids up to 11 total. So they're liking that. So and just to tease this out, we will be kicking off the next series of this podcast to talk about video games once we've done Infinity War and wrapped up this lineup. So that's coming soon to this podcast near you.
Yay!
Goodbye. Hopefully.
Is that it?
And we're done.
Boobity boobity boo.
That made me all sad.
Follow Unpause It on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, or visit us online at unpauseit.com.